Hi everybody, we are talking about something that's really important to me, and today we're going to take a look at a process which is called cold smoke. And what it is smoke that you apply to your food which is not hot. And it comes from smoldering wood instead of actually wood that's completely on fire. So the product that I use is this perforated tube, and it's made by Amaz'n, and it's a cold smoke generator. They also make a longer smoking tray, which is called it's a pellet tray, and basically you fill it full of pellets, and it just goes through the snake. You can either light it on both ends, or you can just light it on one end and expect it to go all the way through. I find that the tray does not work as well as the tube. I like the tube. You can get 4 to 6 hours of smoke from the tube, and it works pretty well. I also think that you could probably make one from just taking some metal wire and actually winding it in the tube, closing off one end and filling it full of wood pellets. I have wood pellets in this tube. I have also these are just standard wood pellets. This one is actually mesquite, which is supposed to be a more smoky flavor, more richer flavor than other pellets. This is a bag of wood pellets. I don't even know what type of wood it is. It was just a generic bag of wood pellets, and the flavor turned out to be pretty good, so I tended to use that. But then I also wanted to try this mesquite to try out how the mesquite flavor as well. So I have my propane torch, and you're going to need this to actually start it on fire. You need to apply a high heat to the wood pellets in there, and as you can see, it's starting to smoke, and it's on fire now. But I'm going to really get it going with this propane torch. You can hit it from the side because it's full of holes, but this forces a lot of heat down into it and gets a lot of the top ones on fire. So you want to get this going to the point where there are a lot of wood embers. Let me turn that off. It's got enough fire going. This is also another custom tool that I found on eBay. It's kind of interesting. It just basically replaces a bellow. It's a wind-up blower of sorts. So I like to use this so I can blow a lot of air onto my coals and kind of get my fire going really hot. Get those embers really burning. It's nice and hot now. It wants to burn and be completely on fire. But the trick to this is you want it to smolder instead of burn. So you go in and you blow it out. I like to lay this in vertically in my firebox. I leave the door completely open. That way there's a cool draft of oxygen coming from the other side. As you will see, the smoke will start to come and fill the cooking chamber of my smoker. This is a horizontal smoker. It's really used for hot smoking, but I find that it's a great chamber for cold smoking. I can lay a lot of meat out on it. I typically hot smoke at low temperatures, around 275. At 250, 275. I hot smoke salmon, pork, beef brisket in here. But for cold smoking, I really enjoy it because I do it at night actually, where the outside temperatures are anywhere around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And so that I just feel like if I was cold smoking raw meat during the day, that actually it would end up promoting bacterial growth. So I will lay in my meat in here, close the chamber, and then it'll start to fill with this cold smoke where my temperature gauge isn't going to move. And if I do it at night, I'll retain those close to refrigeration temperatures, and I can apply maybe 3 to 5 hours of smoke. So the cold smoke is awesome because I got a sous vide recently, and you're going to see the smoke starting to come out the top. So with the sous vide, you want to cook at a lower temperature, and you don't want to overcook. So with a hot roasting something in a traditional smoker where you get these higher temperatures by applying hot smoke, then it kind of gives me the best of both worlds. I can cold smoke a piece of raw meat, leave it at a cold temperature, and then come back, bag that, put it back in my fridge. I can freeze it, and I can immediately sous vide that, and basically bring it to whatever cooking temperature I want. And so this lets me keep my meats really tender without overcooking them, and still using this precision cooking with my sous vide. But since I'm so in love with the smoky flavor applied to meats, and where my steaks, I usually cook them on a cast iron skillet for searing. Now I can sous vide them, just finish them up on the skillet, but I still have that smoky flavor from cold smoking everything. And you can see the smoke starting to come out, and it's a smolder smoke. It's not even hot, you know. It's not hot at all. You come over here and look on the other side. See that there's plenty of smoke coming out of there. And I'll check on this during my smoke, my 3 to 5 hour smoke. I'll keep on coming back to this. I'll check on it and make sure that it's always getting plenty of smoke. I'll give this a lift, and you can see that, you know, you get all that rich smoke in there, and it's cold. It's a smolder, so you'll never have that high temperature that you're worried about. And that's how I do it. I have a horizontal smoker, offset smoker like this. I like it because even though this thing probably weighs 200 to 300 pounds, I can actually put a large brisket sideways here instead of cutting it up, and I can get 2 full racks of spare ribs. I can get a lot of baby backs in there. I can get a lot of chicken, couple of tri-tips, whatever I want in there, or a lot of salmon in there. Even with the water pan that takes up about this much of space, I still have a lot of cooking surface on this horizontal offset smoker. I love it. It's great. It's just a lot of iron and steel. There's no real technology to it. The only thing that is special is these gauges, and mine's modified. When I bought this, I actually sealed it up with medical grade heat silicone, and I put in an additional gauge down on the bottom here, because this gauge up on the top here, I find that it's that's not your cooking height, and so it's going to be hotter there than it is down here where it's your cooking height, where it's closer to the grills. So that's where I put another temperature gauge so that I can accurately know what I'm cooking at. So that is cold smoking.